This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
The U.S. government has given billions of dollars to businesses in an effort to curb the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government will begin to pursue recouping these funds in 2021. Aggressive penalties will be imposed on companies that do not follow regulations and guidelines for proper use of these funds. Criminal charges are already being levied on fraudulent use. Don't suffer again. Get a customized business operations success suite from Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services for your company today. Boss packages include entity formation, payroll, accounting and bookkeeping, tax planning, tax filings, and quarterly strategy sessions to minimize your tax liability, increase efficiency, and maximize your profits. Make your appointment today at elite8financial.com. Get the guidance, tools, and protection your business needs now. Get Boss. Get behind the shield.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio. How you doing, family? Glad you joined us today. Going to start off with the motivation piece, which kind of has a sad thing attached to this. So this is going to be a lesson, nonetheless. And some people may choose to be offended by it. That's okay. It's not your show. But today, the hip hop community mourns the loss of DMX. Even though we were hoping for the best, I think some of us kind of expected this turn. And it's truly, truly sad. And having been a longtime fan and knowing that even myself was a little late catching on because I didn't really catch on till probably 99, 2000. And he had, quite a body of work already at that point. It made me think about something, just last night, went out with some friends to see Michael Collier, the comedian, and he talked about his bout with crack and with drugs and everything. And once this happened this morning, once I saw this news that DMX had passed, it made me think about how much we missed because we never got his best, if that makes sense. Some of y'all will get that. Some of y'all will get it in the morning. But for as great as he was, for as much of a talent, like imagine how raw his talent had to be that great, and we never saw the pure gift, uninfluenced and unaffected. Some of the best advice I ever got in life, in fact, the best advice I ever got in life, is before you do anything, think of the consequences. That was drilled into my head so much that sometimes I even had analysis paralysis, but it's a real thing. Everything you do right now, whatever state of life you exist in, whatever you desire, have, don't have, etc., it's a culmination of previous decisions you've made. Now, some people like to argue the availability of choices. My thing is there's always a choice. They're not always good choices, but the whole purpose of the day is to make better choices or create better opportunities for better choices on tomorrow. So regardless of where you're at right now, you can make a decision to do something different. May sound like I'm beating a dead horse because I talk about this all the time, but in reality, an excuse is a choice. You can make an excuse. You can talk about what you don't have and what opportunities you don't have, etc. But when you really put this thing, to cause, if you work with what you do have toward where you want to be, what you don't have will find you. It's just the law of nature. It just happens that way. And you have to ask yourself, if it never finds you, are you really doing all you can? Or even more, is that really what's for you? Too many times we want to do things our way instead of letting God have his way, but y'all not ready for that conversation. Nevertheless, rest in peace, DMX. We're going to miss him. His body of work will really just trump most artists, so-called artists that's out today, and who's to come. The passion from where he spoke, even when he was in prayer. Some of y'all may not believe in the internal battle of demons or what have you, but the best advice I can give you is to own your ish and then forgive yourself. You can't go through this life without making mistakes. It's not humanly possible. Just own your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and then forgive yourself. And then here's the other part. Forgive everybody else that you may feel have done you wrong, because they're going to move on anyway. And it's only going to hold you back. And it's going to cause you to deal with things that's really not productive in your life. So with that said, I want you to challenge yourself to look inward. Be honest with yourself about who you're dealing with. You don't have to have this conversation with a therapist or whatever. You can have this conversation with yourself. You just have to be prepared to be honest with yourself about it. And then once you get to that honest place, forgive yourself. For whatever reason you did what you did, got to where you got to or whatever. Can't go back and change it. All you can do is learn from it and commit to acting different in the future. So I hope that lands wherever it was supposed to, whoever that was for, that you actually got it, and that it encourages you to keep moving forward regardless of what your current circumstances are. We'll be back right after this.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
Knowledge, integrity, security, service. Get behind the shield.
Finding your brand space in this ever-changing economy can be challenging to new and established businesses. Graphic Line Media can help launch your business's brand potential to unknown places with creative revisioning that relentlessly presses the competition. From graphic design, web, print, apparel, media, and social, we have something designed to grow your business. Don't hesitate. Rule your space. Visit Graphic Line Media at graphiclinemedia.com or join our Facebook page at Graphic Line Media to get special discounts and offers.
Welcome to Boss Talk Radio, the #1 online business and entrepreneurial talk show. Brought to you by Elite 8 Tax and Financial Services.
Boss Talk Radio, keeping it real, yeah, that's for sure. I said a Boss Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. He the boss.
He gon' fix your situation like there ain't no time for wasting. We ain't playing when we saying
he the boss.
And if you ever have a problem, he gon' show you how to solve it. Listen in and he'll show you he the boss.
Talk
Here's your host, the Texas tax expert, George Dandridge.
Talk Radio, here for your needs, we'll crack the code. We the boss.
I can't tell y'all how much I absolutely love that new intro and everything. But anyway, I have an exciting show for you. Today we have none other than Lorie Woodruff in the building, and she's going to put it on your mind or whatever. We're going to talk about her life journey. We're going to talk about the interesting world of forex, because there's too many of you out here jumping from ship to ship and don't know what you're doing. You're bound to drown. So we're going to give you the game on that. But first, we want to talk to you a little bit about the tax tips. So for whatever reason beyond my understanding, somebody that has no experience in tax wanted to challenge this statement I made yesterday. So reading is fundamental, and here's what it is. If you own a C corporation, the deadline to file your taxes is April 15th. Say that again. If you own a C corporation, the deadline to file your taxes is April 15th. Yes, that is next week. So if you are not ready to, you need to file an extension. A timely filed extension is not an extension to pay the taxes. So some people got this confused with the individual tax deadline, which has been moved to May 17th, and for select states under disaster areas, it's been moved back to, I think, June 15th or whatever. I didn't bother to commit the date into my brain because I don't plan on working at that time. So if you're an Elite 8 tax customer, I advise you to get on the good foot, start submitting your documents or what have you, file the extension if you need to. But watch your conduct, know the different deadlines, know what applies to you. If you have any questions, give us a call at 1-866. Is it showing? There it is on screen. 235-4838. That's 1-866-2ELITE8. Or you can go to the website elite8financial.com/appointments and schedule a consult or ask any questions that you have there. If you choose to call, be patient with us as we get back to you. This is a very, very busy time, as most of you know. There were significant tax law changes even after tax season started, actually twice. If you didn't see me last week, had a webinar with the U.S. Black Chamber Economic Development Community. We did webinar regarding the federal tax updates, mostly regarding small business tax filings, but we did touch on some individual stuff. And in the next week or two, that should be available on their website. We'll also have it posted on our website. And as a result of that, the changes and everything else, there's a lot of momentum going on. So we are, in fact, hiring at this point in time. We are looking for account executives. We're looking for referral agents. We are training both in-person and virtual tax preparers for the following season. We are developing life insurance agents. I'm going to tell you this. If you are ready to have a life change, a lifestyle change, if you're ready to impact your household and your community in a way that benefits yourselves and others, you want to give us a call or go to the website and click on Join Our Team so that you can embark on this new career. And I will tell you this before you bother to call. Unlike the places where you put in a job application and you clock in and clock out, you're told what to do by a schedule and get an exacting wage, this does require a small investment in yourself for your different licenses, etc. However, in getting those, you write your own schedule, you work your own workload, you determine how much money it is you make. So Again, join our team. And for those of you that don't know, for top to bottom, I solve tax problems. Yes, it's true. That's what I do. Coming soon to a neighborhood near you is Finlet, man. And we're going to be doing financial literacy education for kids, but also if you or someone you know is having problems with the IRS, don't believe for a minute that those letters are just going to go away because you chose not to open them. Don't go to the store and find out, or be at the gas station and find out the hard way that you don't have access to your funds. If you have tax problems, give us a call, 866-2-ELITE-8. Don't call the people you hear on the radio because they will give you a price before they even know what's wrong. We actually have an assessment process so we can figure out what's wrong and issue the proper prescription and charge accordingly. 1-866-2-ELITE-8. We'll be back right after this.
Could not continue to do our filing of our taxes in the traditional sense that we've been doing for so many years. So we opted to go ahead and take the advice from one of our friends that went ahead and referred us. And since he referred us, we said, we decided let's go ahead and check Elite 8 out, and we're glad we did. They were extremely very thorough, so that's part of the excitement that we really enjoyed with Elite 8. So some of the parts of the values that we really enjoyed was that they were, beyond the fact that they were trustworthy, very thorough, extremely responsive, and the fact that we could do things online just the same that we were able to do in the traditional sense.
Get behind the shield.
If you're just joining us, thank you for tuning in. Please put in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. If you are listening to or watching the playback, put hashtag playback. Share the video. We are always going to give you a gang of information. You may want to get a pen and paper or some sort of recording device. If you are listening on one of the many podcast players that we're on, from Google Podcasts to iHeartRadio, iTunes, etc., thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the download. If you want to advertise on the show, please email sales@talkbossradio.com. And if you want to otherwise support the show, you can Cash App # George Dandridge, or you can donate at paypal.me Elite8 Financial. Let's see, on the road listening. Shout out to Charles. What's going on? Because Erin, who wrote that theme song? That was my lovely and talented niece, Jada J. She has an LP out you can find. As a matter of fact, I have to get the link to put on here. I'm actually going to have her on here pretty soon, too. Amazing talent, and you're going to be seeing a lot from her, both on screen and in your iTunes, etc. But yeah, I love that. Music. We had Kenya Battle produce the music to it, and then my niece Jada actually wrote the track and performed it on there. Even the rap, she wrote the rap on there or whatever. Just halfway amazing, but really proud of all my family members right now. Everybody's doing some really big things, but moving right along because we want to respect everyone's time and everything. Where we have here, Chrome tab, let me find it. I'm gonna play our intro for our guest today so we can bring her up and share this with you. Okay, so gonna try that again because something was wrong with the sound on there. So we're gonna back that thing up. You know what we do. We make adjustments, not excuses.
And work harder. When most people look at someone successful, they think their journey was easy. They see the nice cars, trendy clothes, extravagant homes, and automatically assume That person started at the top. What they don't see are the long hours, weeks without pay, negative bank accounts, failures, disappointments, and questionable moments about being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs speak a different language. They let their creativity launch new ideas, visualize their success, and work harder on themselves through personal growth. I started being an entrepreneur at 25 years old. I've been a top-selling realtor, helped clients improve their credit score, authored a motivational book, hosted Lorie TV, which is an online series on real estate and business topics, and spoke at countless seminars on personal growth and finances. I don't say all that to impress you, but impress upon you that when God has a different calling on your life, you have to make adjustments and make them without a lot of questions. It's all about having faith. Are you listening to God's plan? Find entrepreneurs who are hungry for success, ready to win, and expecting to earn unlimited profits along the way. Will it be hard to find them? No, I doubt it. We speak the same language. We'll see each other real soon.
I am an entrepreneur, real estate investor, and an author. I'm looking for different ways to actually grow my money, and I'm pretty sure you're doing the very same thing. What you really want to get involved with is the forex market.
Hey everyone, Lorie Woodruff, real estate entrepreneur, host of Lorie TV, and coming to you with an important piece of information. Listen, I've been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years, and what I found is that things do need to change. Things need to change, and we have our ups, we have our downs with the business. We love what we do, but what I wanted to do is now focus on a whole different shift, and that's you. Focus on the entrepreneur, just making sure that you get your fair share. You get your fair share of everything you said you wanted to get for your family, for your retirement, for the bills that you need to get paid, and get that house that you said you wanted. Yes, all of that. So through the foreign exchange market, this is what we're doing. This is the new shift. So get with it. I'll get with you very soon on the other side of money.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Miss Lorie Woodruff. How you doing today?
What's up? Hey, George.
Cost of living mostly. We're excited to have you on the show. I love the introduction video. So
love that. Thank you. I love the music that you had. So yeah, I definitely want to get in touch with your niece because we all need like a theme song coming behind us. So I love that.
That's funny you mentioned that because when she did it, it always reminds me of that scene from "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker." I'm telling my age.
That's what I was thinking about.
So we have a little feedback. I think you have another device maybe running it or whatever. If so, you may want to mute that one so it doesn't feedback. But so we learned a little bit about you in the forex space, but you do so many things. You have the TV, you have the blog, you're like really like a personality. You do the real estate. So tell us first and foremost about that decision, that day that came when you just decided, you know what, I'm going to be successful and I'm just going to try whatever my heart desires and I'm committed to win at it.
Well, how about now? Can you hear it okay? Hopefully there's no feedback.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. All right. So now it's 2021, George, and God has sprinkled upon me to look into the forex market, explore that, and help a lot of my people around me that need that financial assistance. And I think in this space now with investing, people learning how to invest, it's necessary for people to understand what it's about. So backtrack, because you make it seem like I got 20 jobs. No, it's not that many. It seems like it, but no. 21 years ago, I ventured into being a real estate agent. My mom was a real estate agent. I watched her and buying my first home and going through that process. I said, you know what? I want to get my license and I want to learn how to do that. So that was for the majority of the last 21 years of what I've been doing full time. And I still do it full time. And during that course, what I discovered is not so much of what your title is. There's other things that you can do. There's other pieces in your journey. It's not about what you do. It's not about what your title is. It's definitely about what you know. And with knowing that, I love to write, I love to act, and I love to reach out to people and connect with people. I love to make money. So with all of that, I did publish a book in 2016, Unleash Your Irresistibility. That was my very first. And that was about finding you, how to get to your best bet. And when that book was written, I was going through a funky place in life, and I had no idea that book was really going to help a lot of other people as well. So going through depression, going through all of that funkiness, and of course going with life, then I discovered I love to write and I love to reach out to people. So that's the second thing, Jordan. We've got an author under our belt. Now when it comes to 2019, that was my second book done, reached out to 17 women, wanted to make sure that we reached out their stories, and that's the book that you see here, The Extraordinary Makeover. That was a book that we published so that their stories can be told as well. So, really just connecting with people, just listening to what is needed in life. And now being in real estate, what I hear most is I need money. I need to pay off debt. I need to fill up my retirement account. And now, 3.5 years ago, started working in the forex space, learning it, helping other people, and really just giving them the confidence and knowledge they can make money in minutes online. So that's where we are to this day. That's it. No more jobs. If I do anything else, then I'll get special permission. But I have no other jobs right now. This is it.
I love the money in minutes mantra, but you said something that I really want to chime in on for a minute, because I think it ties back into where we opened up with the motivation piece earlier. Just started getting the feedback again. But you mentioned you had this point in time in life where you went through some things, and then you kind of went through a depression point. How did acknowledging where you were in addressing where you were, and then being able to be transparent about it in your communication with others and trying to help others, how much did that serve you in helping remove yourself from that space?
To remove myself from which space?
From the state of being depressed. And like, how did you really deal with it? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs deal with a level of stress and occasionally depression that is kind of unrecognized and don't identify a safe place to land with that.
Yeah, they don't like to talk about it. And I don't think anybody likes to talk about it. It wasn't something that was clear when I first got on board with it. I'm thinking I'm sad, and I'm not getting any work done. I'm just not motivated to get work done. And I'm asking my mom, I'm like, look, is there a pill that I need, or do I need to talk to a doctor? She says, why don't you talk to a doctor? And I did that. And by the time I finished with that appointment, the gentleman, George, gave me a prescription. And on that prescription, after just talking with me 15 minutes, I'm letting him know I can't get my work done. I'm not motivated. I'm just not in a good place right now. And understand, entrepreneurs, their level of stress comes daily, because if they're not getting paid every single day, there's some level of financial stress, which tumbles into everything else in their life. So if it's money kind of hovering over the situation, then it's definitely going to spill into their personal life. After that doctor gave me that prescription, it was more so, okay, what are you going to do with this? And luckily, I didn't fill that prescription. What I needed to do was figure out how to get in front of seminars and motivational people and great leaders and mentors that were working at the level that I wanted to work, get connected with them. And that's when I really started to get out of that space of being depressed. When I heard the word, I'm like, I'm not depressed, but okay, if that's the definition of what it is, then that's where I am. I have to accept it. And God led me to complete that book. I danced around all the subjects, all the different things that I could talk about. And then when I had to finally address the big D word, then it was, all right, I have to just submit to it. God said, do it. I have to get this book completed, and I got it completed. And so it was the best thing I had to do. It was something in me that was driving me to complete it, because I knew I wasn't the only entrepreneur that was suffering through that. I knew it. I couldn't have been the only one. So I had to complete it so that others can get released and know there are some things that you can do to get out of this position. Okay, so even people who have a 9-to-5 job, that doesn't dismiss you from not being in a good place. So that book really shows someone, the average person, what you need to do to grow, so that no matter what you're doing at work, home, it doesn't matter, that you can be your best all the time. It's a pretty quick read.
That is like really awesome that you were able to look at that and say, hey, I'm not doing this prescription. I'm going to take control of this and, use this opportunity to identify where I want to be and connect with people who are already there. I think that's so powerful. In fact, I think you might have touched on something that none of us knew at this moment, which is that sometimes that feeling that's been diagnosed as depression is really just, for lack of better words, a sadness, because you're transitioning in that reality that you can't take everybody with you, or that not everybody understands the space and where you're going, causes you kind of feel alone. So you have to change your circle. You have to modify your circle a bit. I hear myself again on the feedback. I don't know if I'm by your mic. It's actually going in and out. That's okay.
The only microphone I have is on the computer. I don't have any devices on.
Okay. Well, we're going to get through it nevertheless. So when we come back, we're going to talk about money in minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a way to learn a skill set, let me say that again. A skill set. I saw this post, I think last night or this morning, and it talked about, it was just showing a contrast how people say, well, $1,000 to invest in a business, I don't have it. $1,000 for an iPhone, no problem. $100 for healthy eating, I can't do it. $100 for food and drinks, no problem. It's just going back to, again, what we talked about earlier, which were choices. So I want you to put this term in your brain about skill set, because here's the beautiful thing about a skill set. No one can take it away from you. Once you have it, it's yours to utilize whenever, however you see fit. Nobody can fire you from a skill set, because you can take it somewhere else to use it. So I want you guys to wrap your mind. In fact, that's going to be the term of the week, is skill set. And when we come back, we're going to talk about money in minutes. We're going to talk about how to develop this skill set. We're going to talk about some of the trepidations and some of the preconceived notions associated with the industry and everything, and really position you guys to understand what it is, how to get into it, and whatnot. So while we're on the commercial break, go ahead and type in your questions and everything. For Lorie, we're going to go into money in minutes right after this. Welcome back. Our term of the week is skill set, a person's range of skills and abilities. And if you don't know, if you don't see the writing on the wall, let me be the first one to tell you that the economy is headed for a brick wall at a high rate of speed that's still enforced. So it's really not the time to be just overspending without a plan. But more importantly, what we want to do today is bring back Lorie and have her talk to you about what forex is, how you can get in, how to mitigate your losses and whatnot, but more importantly, how to really just develop the skill set. Welcome back to the show, Miss Lorie Woodruff.
Hey. Now, how's the sound, George? How's the sound now?
We were actually better at first because I'm echoing.
All right. We're going to get this straight. Hold on, let me turn something off here. We are going now. How about now, Dr. George?
There we go. We got it.
Awesome. All right, so let's get started with an amazing discussion on reality of money. Okay, I'm Lorie Woodruff again. For those out there, welcome everybody on. It's good to see everybody kind of sort of in webinar land. And thank you so much, George, for having me on Boss Talk Radio. I help a lot of people gain the confidence necessary to make money in minutes, right online. And in the space that we're in, as you said, George, there's a lot of cover up of what's going on right now. So a lot of people really can't see what's going on with the reality of the economy, simply because money is being pushed into the market so that it makes it feel like an artificial world of everything's okay. But as I shared with you, over the last couple of years, 3.5 years ago, I went into a space that I had to learn a new skill set. Real estate is a skill set. Those who cut hair, barbers, those who do our nails, that's a skill set that you can't take away. Once you learn it, it's yours. Now, with going into the foreign exchange market, I knew nothing about the whole market itself. I just knew I'm an entrepreneur and I need to be focused on what can I do if I'm sick? What can I do so I don't have to get a part-time job? Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's just an entrepreneur, if this goes for anyone. So what happens if the money is not there? We cannot rely on the government. Those good government jobs that people are like, yeah, I want a good government job. We've seen what happens. We've seen that there's a pause that can happen in the government if their budgeting is not correct. And if they can't balance what they need to make decisions, then your money is disrupted. So I found that going into this industry, the largest financial market, even though I didn't understand it, I needed to make sure I understood it 3.5 years ago, because there's a shift that's about to happen. And this shift is always going to happen, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're not. It doesn't matter. You still have to be in control of your money. You still have to be in control of your money. And that's exactly how the foreign exchange market works. You can participate in the largest financial market. And most people, George, think that the stock market is the largest. So when they're thinking investing, when they think investing, most people think real estate or stocks. Real estate or stocks. What do I need to do? What are people talking about on Facebook so I can get into the next best stock? Actually, what you want to do is look into the foreign exchange market, because that is the largest market out there. You've got money trending, being transferred, buying and sold every single second of the day. And just because you don't understand it, definitely connect with me and we're going to journey along a little bit more so I can show you a little bit more how that works. When you're buying into stocks, for example, let's just say you're interested in Coca-Cola or what is Tesla doing. I get it, Amazon. You want to get on the biggest trend of what's going on with that particular company. Well, you have to wait for that company to rise in their stock price in order for you to gain the benefits. And that could take minutes, hours, days, years. Who knows? It could take a while. But if you don't know what you're doing, the money is gone anyway. It doesn't matter. You don't know what you're doing. So you've got to learn how to participate in that industry anyway. When it comes to the foreign exchange market, I went into the market knowing that I needed to be with professionals. I needed to know what I'm doing, connected to people who are actually doing it, making money, and actually didn't just take me for a ride. And so 3.5 years ago, I did join a company that did teach me that. And I brought hundreds and thousands of people with me so that they can also learn how to do it on their own. So, just because it's new, trust me, it doesn't have to be a difficult task, because anything that you are starting new, it's just that. It's just new. It's not difficult. It's not impossible. Everyone on here started a job at some point. Everyone on here started a new relationship at some point, but you understand it's going to take a little bit of time to be able to, you got to work it. You got to be able to work whatever it is so that you can learn this industry.
What's interesting about what you just said that baffles me about the way people handle things. So there's this thing called kindergarten, and eventually you graduate from this thing called high school.
Right.
In effect, 13 years, and there's not one of those years that you're not taking English. So why is it that people can accept 13 years of training and speaking of basically of their native tongue, but think that they're going to get into some level of money or financial education, and they start on Monday, and by Friday they're supposed to be a master, and by the next Monday they're supposed to be rich?
Guru. You're a guru by that time. So it's all going down to programming, George. And in a lot of my classes that I teach, most of the time when I'm teaching to get through mindset first, because what happens over the first part of our lives, and it's still going on to this day, and I just relate it to this keyboard, like this keyboard right here, right? Everything that's being taught to us is a program. You're being programmed from day one. You're being programmed on what days TV shows come on, what your name is. You're programmed on what foods are best to eat. Everything, when it comes down to programming, you aren't big enough, you aren't tall enough, your credit score is not good enough. It's all programming. So when you get told no multiple times, most children get told no hundreds and thousands of times by the time that they are 5 years old. No, you can't do this. No, you can't get into that. No, put that back. So by the time an opportunity that looks and makes sense actually comes along, most people think it's a scam. It's outfitted wrong, and it's no, we're actually showing you how to make money, but you've been programmed to work a job and do things a little bit different, so you think it's outfitted as a scam. So it really has to do with the programming has to be shifted for a lot of us so that we can understand, wait a minute, money is not such a bad thing. Money actually releases a lot of the things I need to get done. Money allows me to help other people. I can't be broke if I'm going to be helping other people. So it's just Georgia conditioning that has to be shifted. And most of the time when I'm teaching, when people come on board, a lot of that has to do just not about just making money, let me hurry up and be rich by the 4th of July, but it's a matter of, why don't we take our time and do things the 1, 2, 3 steps so that you can actually realize and mess up, win, mess up, learn a lesson, mess up, win, and then you'll be able to see when I look back, wow, 2021 was an awesome year. I made some screw-ups, I screwed up a little bit, but actually I was able to pay off my car. Damn, I was actually paying off my mom's house. And just little things. We're not balling out, George, with like the Lambo was outside. We're not doing things like that. We're actually showing people how to invest passively so that they can pay their bills. That's it, because as an entrepreneur, as you know, we're not paid every 2 weeks with the check. So we have to create money in between those settlements, in between those sales. Money by 4th of July. No, we're not going to be doing all those kind of videos. Those aren't the videos that I'm promoting at all.
I'm glad you touched on this, because I have an issue with, there's this mindset about scams, right? And you talk about how people dismiss opportunity because it may be a scam. And last year, I saw this foolishness invade the culture, this susu thing, and I'm like, really?
Yep.
So you're going to tell me that you're going to get into something that has absolutely no structure or whatever at all, no skill set behind it, no product or anything. It's just a trust factor based on some other culture that you don't even know everything about. Like, really?
Yeah, full-fledged pyramid scheme. There you go. There's one right there. So I say, congratulations. You know what? You thought network marketing was a pyramid scheme. I say, congratulations. You did what you needed to do. Hope you made your money, but you just participated in the in one of those things you said you don't want to do, and you're doing it right now. Some won, some did not, and that's the thing when it comes to not being educated on it. When you're not educated, unfortunately, you just go with the flow. Get involved with that group, see what's going on Facebook. Oh, I want to do it too. And then you lose money. And you can lose a lot of credibility too, depending on who's around you, because you just jump in and not get educated.
And then there's the beauty of what you guys are doing, because again, here's the way I look at this. In fact, I think to look at it any other way would be uncivilized. There's this thing called higher education. Man, have you seen the cost of college these days? Oh my God. I'm not saying it's a scam, but I'm going to just say this. If you put a value on that piece of paper that you're willing to invest all this money in 4 to 6 years of your time in, best case scenario, to learn ultimately what's a building block over what you already had, because picture this, they're still doing English at that level, right? So you do all of this, and yet you don't see this as a higher education cost, that this is an investment in your knowledge that actually yields a skill set that you will make money off of.
Sometimes. And it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee because you go to college that you're going to be rocking in the industry that you want to get paid in. 60% of
very seldom.
60% of people that leave college aren't even doing what they went to school for. And
I think that number might be higher, Lorie.
Probably now. So if it's not so much, I went to college, George, for 2 semesters. I lied to my mom for one of them, just playing around, but I actually went really for one. So I went for 2 semesters on paper, and I just knew I'm not going to be raising my hand for the rest of my life. I just knew I needed to be out there working, using this in order to get paid. The instructors in front of me weren't even working in the fields that they were talking about. So they were talking about it, instructing it, but they weren't even really doing they didn't even own a business. Like I was there for business administration. They didn't even own a business. So I got out of college and I quickly learning a skill set is going to pay me. And it's really up to Lorie to get in there and just hustle my ass off in order to make it work. So even with college, banks, retirement, like all of that to me is a scam. That's to me a scam. And I say that publicly because when you really start to open the doors of what investing in money really looks like, when I go to school for 4 years, as you said, 4 to 6 years, why am I not guaranteed a job in that particular field? I'm spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, hundreds and thousands of dollars, and then I get out, I'm already in debt. Most are already in debt. And from that part, now I'm taking a job that's maybe $60,000, and I just spent over $300,000 in education. I'm already behind.
Don't forget that compounding interest.
Oh yeah. Don't have student loans out there. Good Lord. Because that'll be there for the rest of your life. But yeah, so all the other things, I think, George, just because you're not educated and you're not in the right space of people, when it feels uncomfortable, then most people go left and they're thinking it's a scam and it doesn't work out. But I'm here to tell you, you have to be connected to the right people. You got to feel it. Like, this is person really in front of you, feel like they're taking you for a ride, and just dig deeper. And I think once you expand a little bit more past your zip code, past your friends, then you can actually go further than what you really need to go.
I always say, in order to change your point of view, you have to change your viewpoint. You have to get out of those proximity mindset.
There's no way. And I think in that space, when you had mentioned, there was some growth going on. When I was experiencing going through depression, there was a shift going on, whether it was relationship or anything personally. Something was going on where I was moving to another level, and I just wasn't ready for it, or I just wasn't surrounded by the right people to allow me to be great. So there's a lot of
combination of both.
You're going to lose people on the way up, and a lot of people out here listening to this radio platform, you have a lot of great talents, you have a lot of abilities, but there could be the person you're sleeping next to, the person you call mom or dad, or someone in your family that's just like, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And all that programming comes back, and you just sit back and you say, yeah, you're right. I probably should just work here, this job. I'm not going to start that new daycare. No, you've got to elevate and really surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. Find them.
You just gonna go preach today, huh?
Yeah, this is not a class right now, but almost it is.
You passed the collection plate. You're gonna preach today.
Yeah. Pass the cash app. There you go.
No, but I think that you're absolutely right when we're talking about changing that circle. I don't think it can be put more simpler than this. Look at the 4 or 5 people closest to you.
Yes.
And ask yourself, are they where you want to be? Are they doing things to get to where you want to be? Like, can you learn from each other? Or you just sharing a common space of complacency? Because here's the thing. And I was shocked to learn this, but there are actually some people that they don't desire to be great. And I had to learn that was okay. I don't understand it, but it's okay. But for those that claim to want to be great, you have to be crazy enough to, really just go for it. Because my first part of that decision for me was, okay, when I die, I don't want to have any point in life where, man, I wish I had done this. I'd rather try it and fail 100 times than to wonder what if I had tried it, or what if I had done this or that or the third. So you have to be willing to lose. And when I say willing to lose, I'm not just talking about money. You have to be willing to lose some time, lose some other opportunities. But more importantly, you really have to be ready to lose people. And I think that's the hardest part for people. I got a call yesterday from a family member about someone I knew once upon a time that died. And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen this person in 22 years, don't know how they're doing. They don't know what's going on with me. Why are you interrupting my day to tell me about this person I don't know anymore or whatever? Like, I'm on to something else. I'm doing something, I'm busy right now. I don't want to be interrupted with this person that like, what is it gonna? It's not gonna change nothing I'm doing. I'm not going to the funeral. So you really have to be ready to identify those people and protect your space. Don't have survivor's remorse. Protect your space. Like, understand everybody's not meant to go along with you. Just because you've known them a long time, understand there's reasons and seasons, lessons and blessings. And don't be stressing, let me go. We have a question from Charles Richardson. He says, what was the deciding factor that got you over that fear?
The deciding factor to get me over which fear?
I think he's talking about being willing to take the chances, know that you had to rise to that next level and connect to those other people.
God said go. God said go. So a lot of times it's when it comes down to the family and friends over the last couple of years, when you have something put in you that you have, not, hey, George, what do you think about this? Hey, Mom, what do you think about this? No, you have something put in you as a talent, as a gift that you are supposed to walk into. So you really shouldn't be asking anybody else's opinion. You should just be asking, because if they're not in that space with you, then that really shouldn't be an opinion that matters. I'm not going to ask someone how to construct and build a business if they've never done it. That way I'm just hearing myself speak. I'm not going to talk to my best friend who is a nurse. I'm not going to talk to her about taxes if she is not a professional at doing my taxes. How do you think I should structure my taxes? Should I do it this way, or should I be an LLC? Or I don't need to talk to her about that. So I have to make sure that I'm always talking to the right people. Once you start doing that, you will start to see the opinions of people don't matter. So there wasn't a fear. It was more so a moment that I had to pull back my own time and just say, look, who is in my space that is not helping me get to that next level? I love you, but I can't right now. And there's some family members I had to cut back from. Cut back from, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. It wasn't a permission slip needed. I just silently left.
You hit one, and for those that don't know, my girl got a little slick tongue too over there. So when you come with the questions, be ready for this clap back. But you said we're gonna get everybody real uncomfortable right now. So you touched on one that a lot of people don't want to deal with.
What's that?
It could be the person sleeping next to you.
Oh yeah. They don't want you to be great. They want to stay in that apartment. They want you to stay comfortable with our savings account. And the other spouse is like, well, no, I think I want to explore what forex is about. I want to explore upgrading and starting a business. You guys aren't always aligned. And you guys are not always aligned, and people are moving at different paces. So there's no fear that should be there when you recognize what your gift is, and you have to keep going and finding the people that need to be in that same space as you. I'm not telling you guys to separate from your husband and wife, but that's
well, since Lorie didn't tell you this, I'm going to go ahead and drop this in your mailbox. I'm just going to tell you that self-preservation is not selfishness. One more time for the people in the back. Self-preservation is not selfishness. And for those that know me and know me well, yeah, one day I just decided, you know what? I'm in the second half of life, and there's nothing more important than how I need to live this thing called life, because I'm not going to get a second chance at it. And I cut off anything, anyone, that interfered with that clear path, because it was already put inside of me. It was already shown to me. One of the scariest moments I had, it was real interesting. God showed me where I was going. He didn't show me how I was going to get there, what I had to go through. He just showed me where I was going to be. I was, whoa. And every day I have to ask myself, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing to get to where he's already shown me I'm supposed to go? Sometimes that sadness or whatever is self-condemnation, because some days I know, like, you know what, you ain't really getting in today. You didn't maximize this gift God gave you called a present. Today you just kind of like lackadaisical.
You're going to lose friends, but at the same time, if it is your choice to move forward, all right, and to go in a different direction. Again, your family and friends, majority of them won't understand your gift. It's your gift, and it's okay. When you start moving up and up, I used to not understand when people when entertainers would say it's lonely at the top. Mm-hmm. I never would understand that because I'm thinking, oh, you guys are surrounded by a lot of people. What are you talking about? No, they're not all aligned to be there, to really be there for you. You probably got about 5 people in your life, 5 that will be your best cheerleaders, and probably none of them are family members. Maybe one, but probably none of them are. Most are family members, and that's sad to say that. So you have to recognize that and understand whatever your gift is, work in that gift, find the right people that are doing what you want to do and connect with them.
And even that may be but for a time. You know, that's what's interesting, is that when you find those people, you know, one of the hardest concepts, or should I say, one regret that I had in this thing called life, was that when it came to non-family, non-friend relationships in my young days, I didn't nurture those. It was like, this is the business right now, let's get it and get on. I didn't nurture the growth of relationships. And when I look back and I think about all of the people that I came across, interacted with, made money with, etc., it's like I left a lot of money and opportunity on the table because I didn't nurture or value, you know, relationships. And when I did start to do that, man, the impact was amazing.
Yeah, but you grow, you learn. It's like what you're doing now is not anything that you would have been doing 20 years ago. You didn't know. So as that maturity happens, your money grows, your relationship grows, and if that person is supposed to be there, they'll come back.
And I'm glad they did.
Or that situation will come back for sure. But yeah, just dismiss the trash, the people that don't need to be there.
So tell everybody about the opportunity to connect with you and kind of sum up the money in minutes part, because I think we abandoned that. We got excited about this other conversation and we abandoned the money in minutes.
So let's talk about money in minutes, what that means. So just to let everybody know, April 26th, 27th, and 28th, I'm running a 3-day free masterclass. So every question that you may have about what is the foreign exchange market, how do I get into it, what kind of money can I make, what kind of difference can it make, and can I do it? We're going to start that masterclass. It's free, and it'll be on April 26th. So connect with me on profitsoverlosses.com. That's profitsoverlosses.com. And then we can get started on figuring out, what it's all about. Everybody that has gone through that masterclass, February and March so far, has come out not only entertained, educated, but they're also on their way to making money already. They're already making money already. So let me give you the link. I'll give you the link, profitsoverlosses.com. And that way you can register for the class. As I said, it's free for 3 days, but it gives you the inside look. So someone who is a novice, a newbie, has no idea about what the market is all about. We're going to show you how you can invest right from your computer. Okay, so money in minutes. So how that came about, 3.5 years ago when I got started in this space. Again, I didn't know anything about the industry, and the hundreds and thousands of people that are connected, that are connected in the industry, they don't know anything about it neither, and I love that. So in this space, what you're going to do is you're going to learn the basic information. What are pips? What's support and resistance? What are the currency pairs? You're going to learn all that information and also get involved with live educators that's going to help out, because I feel as human beings, we have to see it. We have to see it in order to place what's going on. Once you get involved with that, then at your pace. And I love it because it's at your pace. So most people are thinking, I have children, I've got class, I've got all this going on. How am I supposed to fit a class? Well, it's at your pace. So if you get off at 6 o'clock, then finish dinner and then maybe push play and you can watch some of the videos on your own time. You guys are watching Netflix, so I know you can do this if it's about money. So now Money in Minutes came in, where this software that we have actually shows the everyday person how they can make money in the foreign exchange market every 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds. And I think when I first got started, I was not making the progress that I thought, because I'm a real estate girl. I'm a real estate girl, so I'm trying to understand how to apply all of this. But I had great leaders that were showing me what needed to be done, and great mentors that broke it down. I'm a little bit slow, whether you know it or not. I'm like, show me. Okay, show me again. All right, show me again. And then I get it. And I remember that that's the way that most people need to learn as well. So when you're learning it, just imagine a piece of software. And trading right now, George, is like super simplified. I'm not saying there's no work involved, but it's super simplified. Imagine logging onto your computer, opening up the computer, and you're actually able to see, well, what trades are you able to take? All right, well, maybe it's Euro USD, or maybe it's USD CAD, the US dollar and the Canadian dollar. When you take a look at that, you're like, well, I don't know anything about that, Lorie. Don't worry, we're going to show you all that. We're going to show you all that. When it comes involved with this software, it's going to give you the high probability of, hey, is this market going up or is this market going down? And the beautiful thing in the foreign exchange market is that we investors can make money whether the price of a currency is going up or down. So I love that. So you have the ability to use this software 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we show you how to use it. So just imagine pushing a button and the software is telling you, hey, this particular currency is about to go up. It's telling you what to do. So if you can do Simon Says, remember Simon Says when we were kids? Simon Says, push a buy. Then you can push a buy. And in the next 60 seconds, that trade may go up and it may go down. But in the 60 seconds, you will know if I won my profit or not. So it cuts down a lot of time, anxiety for the average trader who thinks, I got to be in front of my computer all damn day. I got to learn all these different indicators. No. Buttons. That's all. You're looking at colors and shapes, and that's about it. So that's what we show, George, in this 3-day, how to use that software. And I think when people see how to use the software, they're like, yo, we can make a few $100s a day. We can make a few $1,000s a day simply by using this software. And I'm like, now you're clicking it, because yes, you can make money in minutes if you learn this skill set. Don't just jump out here thinking, well, I'm going to be rich. Hurry up. Let's try it. No. If you try to hurry me up, I'm going to say, look, this is not for you, because this is not a quick express service. This is an investment journey. And if you're willing to put the time in, if you're willing to put the work in, we'll show you what needs to be done. But last night, George, we had a conference. There's probably about 200 people in the room. And it was wonderful to hear the stories, because even on my Facebook page, I put one of the guys' stories on my page. And it was great because this one gentleman that I had been working with over the last year, he would come into our trainings, and because some of the times we do live trainings as well. And young guy wanted to help his mom. He told me after 2 years of being in the forex market, working and trading in the forex market, this man left his job. He put his 2 weeks notice in. And those are the kind of stories that I enjoy hearing, because I know it's working. Everybody's not going to be an A student. Everyone's not going to be flying through and getting it done. But you know what? It took him 2 years to be able to put his 2 weeks notice in and say, my income in trading has now replaced what I was doing on my job. So now I can focus on my parents, doing other things that I like to do. So that's the money in minutes world that I'm in right now. So even I still sell real estate, but I'm reaching back to a lot of people now who need to replenish their retirement account, which we definitely need to talk about, who need to start looking at paying off debt, who need to buy their house. Where are you going to get the money from? So this could be this Money in Minutes software is actually the thing to talk to them about.
So I'm going to put something on some people's mind because we've addressed the part about feeling like, well, something sounds like a scam. We've addressed developing a skill set. You touched on this other thing about not getting or not having to get a part-time job, but I want to use that in a way to kind of flip this thing backwards and just see if we can affect some people's paradigms. So let's start with this. Let's say you're making $100,000 a year, and a lot of employers are not making that, but we're going to use this for round number's sake. And you're getting a 3% raise. That's only $3,000 a year. Ride with me here. Take this walk with me. Most of you won't get a 3% raise, and you're going to go and get a part-time job to add some additional revenue to your household. And when you look at, let's say, this part-time job, let's say you work there 20 hours a week. We'll do 20 hours a week, right?
20 hours.
So, yeah, this part-time job, 20 hours a week. Well, should I go less? Do you want to use 15?
20's good. 20's good.
20's good. Okay, so we're going to use 20 hours a week. Now, I want you to understand what happens in this 20 hours because you're only producing for 20 hours, but you have travel time back and forth. Exactly. I think it's safe to say we could probably add 5 hours to that now. So now we're at 25 hours. You're taxed on that money immediately. And it probably puts you in a different tax bracket anyway. So the tax part of it changed. So you're kind of on a hamster wheel, if you will.
But don't forget about inflation.
Yeah. And I want to offer you this. I want to offer the audience this thought process. Lorie said that this is literally in minutes. The act of doing it now. The developing the skill set does not happen in minutes, y'all. I'm not gonna say my girl came on Boss Talk Radio and tell you can master a skill set in minutes. That is not what she said. So here's what we're talking about, though. Do you realize? Because Lorie was talking about making hundreds of dollars a day or whatever, and I think for some people that might be scary. That may not seem real. So I'm gonna impact you guys' thought here. Right now, somebody listening to this show is in the housing market. You want to buy a house, and you've probably been told that you need a little bit more of a down payment or whatever. And so you went out and got this part-time job. You cut out going out to eat and things of that nature. What if I told you, because I don't know if y'all missed this when she said it, this is not the stock market where you have your Monday through Friday, with your cutoff time and everything. I'm not saying don't get into the stock market. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But did you catch it when she said 24 hours a day? How many holidays does it have, Lorie?
How many? 5 days a week. You can trade. Actually, you can trade 7 days a week. So let's just stop taking it out.
So
you can
it's not closed on the holidays?
You can. I wouldn't. But
I mean the actual market for it, the forex market, is it closed on holidays?
No.
Oh. So what you're saying is 365 days a year, the opportunity to make money is there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, this is what I want people to take away with this. Did you know that an extra $10,000 a year is less than $28 a day? Now, I use the same mantra when I tell you guys you don't have an excuse not to save money, because I see some of y'all, spend $15 at Starbucks every day or whatever. But for you to earn an extra $10,000, that bothered me. I don't like to use the term extra because I don't believe there's no such thing as extra money, but yeah. But additional money, $10,000 a year is less than $28 a day. And if you master a skill set that allows you to do this in 20 minutes a day, matter of fact, let's look at it this way. I think most people would agree that $28 an hour is a decent job, right?
Yeah.
In the current job market, if you make $28 an hour, you have a pretty good job, respectable job or whatever. But if you can do this, just that small amount a day. Now, we didn't even talk about if you put 5-6 hours into this thing every day.
Yeah, let me give you a breakdown of what that looks like. In the foreign exchange market, you have the ability to make money in seconds. You can do that. So for someone that could be sitting at their job, let's just say an $80,000 position, $80,000 job. When you calculate that, how much money that person is making per day, it comes out to be about $307 a day. So the boss is paying you $307 a day to sit there to deal with Patty down the hallway, someone from accounting that you don't like, went through traffic, had to get up early, fight through the coffee machine, all of that. So that's probably not an 8-hour day, as you mentioned it. It's more than that because it's your time to get to work and to get back from work. So on average, it's probably about 12 hours of your time. So if you're looking at 12 hours of your day is spent to make $300 a day, this is on just an $80,000 position, you could have made that same amount of time in 1 hour if you budgeted your time right. You could have made it in less time, but I'm saying in 1 hour, you could have made the same amount of money than someone sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day or sitting in front of your computer. So we're showing people how to get their time back, because at this point in life, I'm 45 years old, and I look at, all right, 1 hour a day could have got me on equivalent to an $80,000 job. How much more can I do if I did 2 hours? So we're showing people how to get that kind of time back, because your children are being homeschooled. You cannot rely on your job, no matter what industry that you are in, that it's going to be there tomorrow. Hundreds and thousands of jobs and companies have already shut down to date. So what's to say that we're headed for greener pastures at this point? You got to be able to create your own money, and you got to be able to create it and snatch it from a market that's already moving. So when you look at 1 hour a day, now what am I supposed to do with the other 11 hours a day? Do what you want to do. Write that book. Start to prepare your family to do the same thing. Or, just do whatever you now want to do. We're showing people how to get their time back.
And time, folks, is your greatest asset.
Yeah.
But it is finite. It's non-renewable. So how you use it, and let's be clear, the definition for me, anyway, the definition of wealth is the same as the definition of success, which is simply being able to dictate how my time is spent. Do you know that Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates has the same amount of time in a day as you do? The only difference between you and them is their ability to dictate how they're going to spend their day, because they have the resources to do it or what have you. So I encourage you guys to first, let's have a mindset shift about how we spend time and what we're willing to invest in, because too often I see people just uninhibitedly go out and buy some technology or some fashion, but won't invest in an opportunity in yourself, or won't invest in yourself at which really higher education, not the perceived higher education, to develop a skill set that you can generate some revenue out of. So, Lorie, we want to thank you for being on today. Thank you for your time. We're going to have to call you back on to talk about the replenishing the retirement accounts and whatnot, because I'm interested in your method versus this lane I'm over here in with Douglas or whatever. So we're going to talk about that on the next time. But what do you want to leave people with today?
Definitely, I can pick that conversation up in the Money in Minutes Masterclass, actually. So on April 26th, let this be the time. If you've really been interested in learning how to trade and invest, just don't get so complicated with the word. What is forex? If you're looking to invest and you're needing to do something at home, and you really are looking to get a house, to get the insurance replenished, all of that savings account replenished, then you need to be at this masterclass. So make sure that you're registered for that at profitsoverlosses.com, and we're going to go deep. We're going to go into it. You're going to know everything necessary. You're going to see the software that we use, and you're going to actually hear from people who are having some success stories and myself doing what we do. So it doesn't matter what industry that you're in. Doesn't matter how old or young you are. Everyone is welcome. So that's going to be April 26th. Get yourself registered. We'll talk more about it then. Thank you, George, so much for having me on.
Thank you for stopping in, Lorie, and dropping this on everybody. I hope everybody was able to take something from this, and please remember to go and get registered at profitsoverlosses.com. When we come back, everybody's favorite segment, 5 Minutes of Fire, is coming up next, right after this.
Thank you.
Do you own a business, or are you thinking of starting one? Whatever you do, you need a great business idea to overcome the competition. Possibly some new cutting-edge technology. You need something that can grow your business exponentially. Something to blow your customers away and give them the highest quality. At Bully AI, we are experts in doing just that. With our user-friendly software, we create white-label technology for business. This helps your company expand and lowers your cost for marketing, sales, advertising, customer relations, and so much more. All this is done by AI-based software created by our team of AI bots, big data analytics, and a great website. And you know what? All of this is available on our website with subscription plans as low as $7 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now.
This is Dr. Tamia Guest with Rejuvenating Chiropractic.
This is Nara Reed with Modified Nutrition Health Coach.
This is Karen Marcel with June Street Barbershop.
This is Tiffany Marcel with Marcel Luxury Realty, and you're listening to Boss Talk Radio.
I've paid the cost to be born.
All right, it's that time. We're going to talk about this topic. And, I don't think, well, I'll just say this. If you're new to Boss Talk Radio, you might want to get you some toilet paper. I don't know if you're going to be wiping tears or wiping your ass, but we're going to go ahead and get into this topic. And what we want to talk about is learning from other cultures. It's time that we do that, So there's this trial going on right now, the Chauvin murder trial, and it's interesting how this whole thing is projected and whatnot, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing in the actual events that's any different than what we've experienced and watched pretty much all our lives. Here's what was different. I'm going to call a spade a spade. What was different was at the time this took place, the world was shut down. People were stuck at home. They needed an excuse to get out or whatever. And so they took up this cause and, piled in the streets for protest and whatnot. It was seen all over the world. The news needed something to talk about or whatever. So this large number of people that were coming out never came out before. It wasn't because they were authentically supporting us in this matter. It was because they didn't have nothing else to do. It was really that simple. And the minute there was something else to do, it kind of faded into the background. Now it's back in the news, of course, because of the trial and everything. But here's the reality. This may be the one time that we don't see things go the way that we're used to seeing them go, because the entire thing is being televised pretty much all over the world. But even if this guy is, convicted and everything, we know the truth of the matter is that it's not because of some real mindset shift in America. It's really just going to be one of those things where America's got too much explaining to do about too many other things. They don't need to add one more when it comes to the judicial system. So here's what I mean by learn from other cultures, because in the past, when we have not had, for lack of better words, justice, but just us, we would turn around and do things like riot and stuff like that. We've even discovered that there are hired people called provocateurs that will come into neighborhoods and provoke a riot, get the emotions stirred up. But here's an opportunity for you to take from recent times where things didn't go the way they normally do for other Americans, if you know what I mean. Case in point, Donald Trump was voted out of the White House. And some Americans didn't like that. Did you see them riot and tear up shit in their own neighborhood? No, you did not. They went and tore up the damn Capitol. They tore up the White House. Listen, don't tear up your own shit if this don't go the way you feel like it should go. If you're going to elect to have a non-productive behavior such as rioting or whatever, and I'm not, not the one to say, well, rioting is wrong. I just don't see it being productive, But if you're going to do that, go tear up somebody else's shit. So, go tear up your state capitol or something. Don't tear up your own stuff and make it harder for you to get access to goods and services because you didn't beat the block down. That's part one. Part two. Something happened here recently, and I don't know all the details about how it happened, but it hit the news and it changed. And this may be the part where you have to wipe your ass, because I don't care how you take this or whatever. But, somewhere in this United States of America, some Asian citizens or so were killed, or whatever. And we've seen the typical, response as far as the suspect goes. Pay attention to this. Suspect captured. Mental illness. You don't find it odd that repeatedly over in this thing called America, spelled with 3 Ks, that some cultures can go walk into whatever establishment, kill a whole bunch of people, manage to be apprehended and go to trial, yet some other cultures, namely those that look like me, will get pulled over for a traffic stop or something, and we get killed after we're already in handcuffs. Let's let that marinate for a second. Anyway, did you see what the Asian community did? When I'm talking about learning from other cultures, did you see what the Asian community did after that. They didn't go look to the government for help. They forced the government to respond. How did they do that? The first thing they did was they organized. They didn't bicker about who's going to manage the money. They kicked the money in to get it done, and they used that money to then put pressure on the government. We've been told that we can't, government can't just address specific group issues like black issues or whatever, reparations and things of that nature. However, did you not see how quickly legislation came down for the Asian community? I'm talking about we have bills sitting in the House since prior, during, and after the Trump administration that's just sitting there getting kicked from one place to the next. The Asian community had the government respond and react on their behalf in less than 30 days. This goes back to this whole voting thing. When you guys talk about, well, you got to participate and you got to pick the lesser of two evils and you got to, vote your interests and whatnot. The problem is that you haven't determined your interests and you're willing to settle for less than your just interests do. You just, you out here just kicking in a vote, because this is the way your parents voted or whatever the case may be. And this is not a thing of telling you to choose Republican or choose Democrat or whatever. What I'm telling you to do is invest in a candidate that you can hold accountable. In order to do that, you have to be involved in your community situations to know what's going on and dealing with those community leaders, especially if you're in business. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the ones who react to a dollar. So when I say invest in them, yes, I'm talking about putting money into those campaigns or whatever, but at the same time, your money comes with a list. And this list has to be accounted for. So take that chapter from other cultures. When you want to get something done, organize, invest, and then apply pressure. And when things don't go your way, don't tear up your own shit. Tear up theirs. This has been 5 Minutes of Fire. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.